Hello everyone, Grigor's Keto here.
We didn't have time to notify our
hmm
Ketonians in the group, but let's hope Great goes Keto. Yeah, let's hear a little bit our music. Why not? Have
hmm
it up.
Nice.
Okay, so how is everybody doing today? We will learn as soon as they join us.
hmm
Well, maybe I should post in the group that we are live so that we have our dear Ketonians joining us on this
I
Sunday.
think they're gonna get notified by YouTube, so they're gonna have the notification. They're gonna join us. Claudia is here. Hello, you too. Says.
Hello. Hi, Claudia. Actually, you were in my dream last night. I had a dream which included you, and it was really cool. Well, I guess Ketonians dream of nice things.
uh-huh.
You can see behind me whisking with a lot of power and a lot of speed. This is maybe you doing it in iMovie, but yeah, if you are a Ketonian, you get some crazy energy.
Hello, guys. Everyone slowly joins.
Here they are.
Richard,
Hi,
this Paula, Deborah. Nice.
Yeah, I wanted you guys to join. We are really sorry we can't participate in the chat. We are extremely busy. And I have something great to announce, but I'm going to wait a little bit for more Ketonians to join us.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Before I announce what I was working on.
Richard says, did you know that Yoda is a carnivore?
Did you see the video? Did you see the video which I posted?
Yesterday night we had so much fun because actually I saw the new Star Wars, the Mandalorian, and it happened to see that scene. It was awesome.
Because Keto is opposite.
No, it's not. It's okay.
It was like this, and I was missing my logo. Okay, here it is.
So we had fun with Tiny Yoda.
Yeah, I love Tiny baby Yoda. Not only did you notice, guys, if you are not watching this Mandalorian, okay, to me it sounds like a cake or something.
Maybe we're gonna make a keto cake, the Mandalorian cake.
If you're not watching, it's a great TV show which is based on Star Wars universe. As you know, Apollon is a Star Wars fan, much more than me, but now I became a huge Star Wars fan. Why? Because I noticed that actually in Star Wars, especially in this show, we are seeing a lot of human appropriate food, and all the species, alien species, are actually getting nutrients and getting fed by eating huge eggs. They were hunting some unusual eggs, I think from some dinosaurs or something. Anyway, we saw that they were feasting on egg yolk. And then finally we saw baby Yoda being a carnivore. Not only that he was a carnivore, he was literally hunting his food. So I think there's a message behind, and I think it's kind of an answer to another sci-fi director who is a huge name in the sci-fi world. I do love Avatar. I do love Alien. I do love all his movies, but the latest one that he made, and I'm talking about
Game Changer, yeah.
Game Changer and
Game Changer,
James
Cameron,
James Cameron, yes. Talking about James Cameron, and on the other side, I'm talking about George Lucas. So it looks like George Lucas is giving an answer to James Cameron by showing us that Yoda is a carnivore, and that's where he gets all this wonderful energy and the positive energy, actually, because Yoda is the most positive character. It's like the image of good in comparison to evil. He's pure. He is not actually.
It's actually the root of good. Yeah, something like this.
Something like that. That's the main idea. So yeah, it's not bad to eat species appropriate food. We are just part of feeding chain, and our ancestors have been eating this kind of foods for ages and stayed healthy and stayed survived. We must say survived. So until in the future, until we actually reach the future of Star Trek or the Orville, which is the beautiful future of utopian, you could say, but I don't want to say utopian. I want to believe that really there will be a future like that, and humans will be on a level that they will be able to molecularly produce food that will have exactly the same nutrition as its origin, as animal-based food, and then make it like in the replicator, so there will not be meat coming from animal, but the real meat just assembled from molecules, from matter and antimatter. And then, yes, in that case, I would eat such food if I live until that age. But it looks like we are not there yet as scientists, and our food industry is not offering yet something like that, something as nutritious as we can see in some sci-fi, utopian sci-fi shows. So until that time comes, we are going to eat the way our ancestors ate. We're going to eat nutritious food, nutritious ingredients in the meals, or even treats such as this one I'm preparing behind. We will be ketonians and carnivorians. We simply understand that that's the healthiest way to survive on this planet. So, do you have anything to add on this subject?
I don't know. For me, it's really important to keep consuming animal-based foods. Give priority always to animal-based foods, and have as a side dish anything that comes from plant-based foods.
You can tolerate.
Yeah.
There are people who can't even tolerate any plants, so they need to go carnivore for at least a couple of months.
Yeah.
To reboot their
and
system.
Always you need to educate yourself and to be able to recognize foods. For example, we talked mainly with a lot of people for mushrooms. Mushrooms are not vegetables. They don't have to do anything with veggies.
A pile of microorganisms. So anything in this planet is actually on a microbiological level.
Microcosmos, yeah.
Of microbiological organisms, but mushrooms in general are fungi, and they are microorganisms. So they could be more keto than, they're not vegetarian at all. They're not actually.
Yeah, and there is again this misconception. People keep confusing. They are confused generally, I think, when it comes to nutrition, what they can consume, what they must not consume. Can I have this sweetener? Can I have that sweetener? Everything, for example, is labeled as stevia. It has like 1% stevia inside. I understand there is this big complication because, again, the food industry has the upper hand in all this situation.
Industries actually destroyed almost everything they could. Luckily, there are still things that can't contain additives if they will work properly. So you can still buy grass-fed beef gelatin that is just gelatin, no added silicone or whatever they're adding.
They try to put everything inside.
Products. You can still buy butter, which is just butter. You can buy cheese, which contains only milk, salt, and starter culture. So that would be the old-fashioned way to produce food. So the less ingredients your ingredient of your dish has, even if it's bought in the supermarket, even if it has barcode, the less ingredient it has, better for you. It's so simple. If something contains 10, 20 ingredients, can't be good. Something's wrong there. You can have it once, but don't eat it on daily basis, because most probably those added ingredient, the process of preparing food, making it last longer in the supermarket, or it's not only the supermarket shelf, it's also the storage, right?
Yes, of course.
That's the worst problem. We never know how that was stored. For example, let's take coconut milk. You searched, and finally, some of you, Paula, I think, found a clean coconut milk that's packed in a carton box. But do we know in what conditions the store, or even before it came to the store, it was in the storage, it was in some warehouse, it was in some containers to travel sometimes overseas and sometimes from another continent to come to your country and then to be offered to you with a relatively short expiration date, let's say a couple of months. And then it was pasteurized, most probably, because if it wasn't pasteurized, how can it last longer? And such a product, you never know how it was stored. That's why, yes, occasionally, but if you want to be 100% sure about everything you consume, you really have to make it at home. You have to make it from scratch, and it's not that difficult. I do sound like a papagallo. Let's learn another
parrot,
Greek word. It's a parrot. But I'm repeating myself, but I think it's important to repeat this.
But generally, I can see not only mistakes by beginners, also experienced people with ketogenic or carnivore diet have tendency to make mistakes and buy all these awful products. I understand that is convenient, of course, to go and just buy this product ready. Who's gonna sit and make all this stuff, especially if you have busy schedule, you are working, you have a family, blah, 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 you know how's it going. But I don't think it's a proper way to fuel yourself. And sometimes we know after that maybe we feel guilty about it, but it's really important. The benefits that we're taking, for example, from intermittent fasting, when we're fasting and combining it with ketogenic or carnivore diet, it's really difficult to, when we're healing from intermittent fasting, to keep poisoning ourselves from the food that we're receiving, even if it's labeled as keto.
Great. So let's see. We have a few comments, not a lot, but guys, participate, please. Help us in this relaxed Sunday. Let it be really relaxed. Let's have all the subjects that you would like to talk about. Let's cover the subjects that you already covered, maybe in the chat room, or for the new Ketonians that are joining us. I published half an hour ago that we will be live, and I published that Yoda video, but I'm not sure that enough of Ketonians saw it, so they will be able to watch it later. Paula posted a really cute
mushroom
icon, but this mushroom would be poisonous. Exactly the one that she actually posted.
It's cool. Mushrooms are amazing, actually, and
nutritious.
They're really tasty. You can combine them with omelette or any meat. They're
great
side dish.
Plus, and make maniteropita.
So good. So
good. Let's see Claudia's comment. There is a series, the resident, about the hospital and doctors, and their patient was vegetarian, so they were concerned, and the doctors explained that she has many deficiencies because of it. Yes, even vegetarians, you don't have to be a vegan to have deficiencies. Because I know there is still some great nutrients in eggs and dairy, which vegetarians still consume.
Not all of them.
They can't be called vegetarian.
It depends which actually vegetarian regime you're following, because there are the ovo-lacto vegetarians, there are the pescatarians. I don't know. So, there are so many branches of this vegetarianism.
All sorts of diets excluding meat will eventually produce deficiency. It's a normal thing. It's our ancestral food, and interestingly, the less you eat pieces of meat which are more like internal, such as bones, in the bone broth and internal organs, the larger are chances of your deficiencies. Even though, for example, there are some carnivores who eat only muscle meat, for an average person that has been eating really unhealthy for years, we definitely wouldn't recommend that. We would encourage each and one of you to include a little bit more liver, heart, internal organs, and
offals generally.
And
when I wrote the article Zero Carb Phenomena, I included a study and, of course, history from the expedition with Eskimos and the tribe of Inuit. When the American expedition, actually, they lost a ship, they sent a rescue, and these people experienced the first symptoms of ketosis. They were walking, they feel some tiredness, especially in the legs, and that they're saying after a few days and following actually the tribe nutrition, as they were calling it, which was mainly carnivore because they didn't have any plant. They felt high energy bursts and not kind of sickness at all. I think this proves us one more time that even only with internal organs and pure meat, not lean meat, but fatty meat, and I explained there that the lean meat is for the dogs. They were giving this kind of meat to the dogs because they have better actually protein breakdown in their stomach and their system. So
because they're like real
They're
carnivores.
real
We are
carnivores here.
omnivores.
Yeah. So it's better for us to eat fatty meat, and we're gonna have all the benefits out of it. I think it's
And
really
also,
important.
That's why we have to eat.
And especially in
cooked.
the cold environment.
Yeah. Today our cat went overwhelmed when she got some fish, and we realized actually if you see how things are happening in the nature, how animals are approaching this, when you just see the kinds of food that they choose, rather, because some of the animals do have a choice. Some of the animals have owners who will, well, I wouldn't call them owners, but they're humans, let's say, who are giving them even a choice just to see what the animal will choose. And the animal will not go for the taste. Somehow they have this instinct and they will go for the more nutritious source. And then we as humans, we don't do that. Even though we mentally are able to understand that something is nutritious, we have some sort of like children, when the children make this face when they don't want to eat something. Well, as grown people, we still make these faces to some foods. I've seen people doing it to liver. I've seen people doing it to fish heads, to some seafood, calamari, etc. We got a lot of comments regarding sea buckthorn being too sour, etc. As humans, as grown-ups, we have to understand that nutritious things can be modified slightly so that they taste good, because it's important that food tastes good. It's also in our DNA to reject food which doesn't taste good, because it's like poisonous to us, bitter taste and sour taste. It's a sign of poison. So we have the ability to work our way around that and still consume extremely nutritious food. Liver can be prepared in so many different ways. I would recommend to everybody who would like to try liver, include a little bit more liver and heart from lamb, and to search on our website the recipe for liver pate. I think it's one of the best spreads. We had a friend who is a big liver hater, and he had almost half jar of that pate, because it's there's a lot of spices. There's even leek inside. There are good fats, which makes it. Fats always makes everything tastier and smoother. So especially because this pate
provides satiety and so many good nutrients there.
It's extremely nutritious. I remember when I made it, I ate quite a lot of it with, I'm not quite sure, I think I had some vegetables, and I had this liver pate as the main dish. I made it just like, I didn't have any keto bread, I didn't have even the low carb bread, there was no bread included, it was just some veggies and a lot of this pate. And I ate once that day. I couldn't eat. In the evening for the next meal, Apollonius was eating his eggs. I told him, I can't eat, I'm just gonna make tea. And then I realized why. When you eat this liver pate, it goes for hours, because all the nutrients are very dense. They are packed in 2-3 tablespoons of
General liver, I think, is a powerhouse, so it's a great food option, especially for people who try to increase their nutrients,
vitamins and minerals, and there are a lot of vitamins in liver.
Selenium, so many things that you can obtain from liver generally.
You can just grill it, or you can play with
Deborah
it.
says, read a blog, a woman who makes her own coconut milk,
and
home cans it says.
Should be there a concern of extended period of high heat for canning? I use a pressure canner for bone broth. I don't know why she cans it, actually. Why she doesn't just store it in a glass bottle?
Glass is so much better, especially
or in a metallic
you need
bottle.
to make sure that your can has a film coating, and
what kind of cans are these?
Yeah,
why would you can?
The metal you have, so many factors that
this could be that this person is actually really busy and can make coconut milk only once per month. For persons who don't have goat milk available, such as here where I live, I can have goat milk, so I don't have to make coconut milk. I make coconut milk only when I want to make something, some dessert which includes coconut milk. I don't use coconut milk to replace the cow's milk. I use goat milk. But for those of you who rely on coconut milk really once per week, it's not that difficult. It's like 15 minutes, all the job.
Yeah,
5 minutes to boil it, 5 minutes to let it cool down, and then to blend it and strain it. It's extremely...
Plus, you're taking the coconut cream on the top the next day, so it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Paula says, yes, true, it's red. About the mushroom.
It's red with white dots. This is
poison.
Here we call this the fly mushroom, muhara, which is very dangerous.
Richard says you should have a Grigo's Keto recipe photo contest.
I agree.
Deborah made a fantastic carnivore pizza.
Not only that Deborah made a fantastic carnivore pizza, she made also great stifado, and she posted a slow video. She made so many other great things, but Deb from New Zealand made Wiener Schnitzel, and they looked awesome. I shared them today on Instagram. Maybe some of you checked it. It was also reposted on Facebook, I think. Deb made it looking perfect, like from a restaurant. You would think it's a real, and she made it totally Mediterranean because she added some olives, and some cherry tomatoes, etc. So I think if Deb is not with us now, and if she will be joining later,
it's Monday morning,
you made it. Yeah, for her it's already Monday morning. Maybe she will join a little bit. She always jumps in. It's very early for her now. So Richard, thank you for a great idea, but I want you to enter the contest, Richard. I want to see you sending us something from Grigo's Keto recipe, something that you tried, made, and then who knows, maybe you will win. Let's see. I would really actually like a man to win this contest, because ladies, of course, have so much more experience. They're still on this earth. These women cook more, but I want to see Ketonian male members of our universe to show us if they can make something from Grigo's Keto recipes. Paula says, well, we had Scott, who actually said so many great things. A few days ago, he made duck roast, and it was amazing. Paula says, usually they call canning, but it's a glass mason jar. Oh, I see. So if it's storing in a glass mason jar, yes, of course, this is what I do. I make it for a week. Around 2 liters of, that would be like 4 pounds.
And Deborah says no. We can in glass jars. It isn't possible to use tin at home. Then it's jarring, not canning.
Then it should be called jarring.
Yeah, it should be jarring. Why canning?
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
you never know what's the origin.
Yes, the Greek came up with the idea.
The Greeks always want logic.
Yeah, of course. You cannot say can when you don't say can. You can.
Can you can?
Can you can?
Can you
yeah,
can?
It doesn't make sense anyway.
You can.
You can. Yes, you can.
Can we? Yes, we
can. Yes, we can. So.
Okay.
Deb's
Wiener Schnitzel looked so appetizing.
Schnitzel.
Yeah. And made me want some. And that's
they were
exactly
delicious.
what I'm going to ask my butcher tomorrow for some veal cuts for Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah, they're so tasty.
They are tasty and they're great because they're combining also eggs. Now you can work your way around the coating.
Breading as
you can
generally.
Use different things, and you can just simply use psyllium, nothing else, and it will work. You don't need a lot, actually. You are just dipping it 1 second. And you can even try to make it, there's a version without anything, just eggs, but you have to dry your meat a lot so that the egg sticks to that. You can add some chia seeds or psyllium to the egg mixture, and then dip your steaks or your cuts in this mixture, and then fry it or bake it in the oven. It's another method to prepare breaded, but not with bread.
Exactly.
Schnitzel. What else we have?
Home canning in glass
jars makes food shelf stable for a year. Yeah, I know that's a great thing, but it includes thermal procession. So, okay, coconut milk can sustain that. It's like home pasteurizing. It's somebody does it in the oven, somebody does it in a big pot. They are just boiling it together with the jars. So yeah, it's possible, and it creates the vacuum, and then you can go for longer. But still, I like fresh stuff. I like the taste of fresh coconut milk. Coconut milk, when I make it and I drink it on the second day, it's okay, but it's not as delicious. Even Apollonius drinks it on the first day. When I'm making coconut milk, that first day he drinks a glass of it, full glass of it. He loves it because it's still warm and it's like all the molecules are still, it's just more appealing. I think that fresh things are, of course, we're talking about people who have time to do that. We do understand that there are people who can't cook at all, maybe only once per week. So they're making their weekly meals.
Prep meals,
freezing them, etc. But what to tell you, there are Sundays, there are weekends when you can just do it for yourself. I saw yesterday a beautiful soup. Actually, this morning I saw it. Paula made. It's seafood soup, and she used quail eggs to thicken it, and then she grated goat cheese. It's a great example of nutritious meal. It's also very tasty. I can imagine how it tasted because she used calamari, she used shrimp, she used various seafood, and then there are a lot of nutrients in seafood. And then she used quail eggs. Guys, it's like gems. One small quail eggs is stronger than 3 hen eggs when it comes to micronutrients. It's extremely powerful. It could be difficult to find it where you live, but it's worthy. You have to give it a try. You will feel the benefits of eating quail eggs in a couple of days. Just a couple of days, eat only quail eggs instead of hen eggs and see how you feel. It's definitely, it was a discovery for me when Apollonius said we're going to switch to quail eggs for some period of time. I felt it. I really felt it. Of course, you can't get so many quail eggs to eat only quail eggs, except if you have a quail egg farm. But once in a while, treat yourself with those nutritious bombs. And try to have them raw. There are several recipes to include them raw. One of them is our keto mayonnaise, keto quail egg mayonnaise. And I think you can work your way around. You can change the spices. You don't have to add lemon juice if it's too sour for you. You can even use a little bit of apple cider vinegar instead of lemon juice. There are so many ways to actually work your
Paula says I make it on Sunday and it takes me an hour, then it lasts us like 3 days, then we run out, so don't need to save it, then we use the carton
until Sunday again. So that makes sense. Okay, so that makes sense. At least you found a product which doesn't have a lot of bad ingredients, but whenever you can, try to make it at home. It's so easy, guys. There's a video here on YouTube. We have it, and you can check it out. So now the big announcement. I have been working all day. Ever since I got up today, I have been working on assembling, and finally I finished the Grigos Keto Frequently Asked Question coloring book. So tonight it will be available as an ebook. So those of you who can't wait and would like to get it and just print it yourself so you can color in all and read all that we have written in this book.
It's an amazing project.
It will be available in the web shop tonight. At the same time, we are working with a printing company to offer the printed version. And I think it's going to go fast because we found a company who does print on demand. So you will be able to...
Yeah, we're going to see what is going to work actually with them.
Very soon it's gonna be ready before Christmas. Don't worry, it's gonna be ready next week. Everybody will be ready to
as we promised. It maybe took like a week later, but I think it's worth
for the patrons, please. I don't want to bomb you guys. If you really want this book, please send me an email, send me a message, and I'm gonna send you first the ebook or the PDF file. The book will arrive to your email in a high resolution, so you will be able to print it out if you want to have it before the
actual version,
printed version, the actual book, how to call it, the hardcover. No, it's not going to be hardcover.
No, it's soft cover,
Soft cover, so it will not cost a lot to ship. This is another great thing. We didn't want to use hardcover because it could make it heavy. You know, this carton they use, it could make the actual book very heavy. So it brings up the price for shipping. So to make it more affordable so that each Ketonian can enjoy it. It's totally devoted to Keto Mediterranean lifestyle. We have several groups of frequently asked questions. We are covering many subjects: keto for beginners, keto for veterans, keto for athletes, keto for people who just want to maintain, keto for autoimmune diseases, etc. It's like all the questions are answered. And after this reading part, you have the relaxation part where you have some 20 illustrations which are covering mainly these subjects: quail eggs, goat milk, feta cheese in general, meat. They're covering fish, seafood. They are covering keto fruits, what's not keto. We even have 2 anti-keto pages with foods which are not keto. So while you're coloring potatoes, corn, wheat,
you know what to actually not to have.
You will remember that those foods are not keto, and those foods especially are not Mediterranean. So we think that this book will be, well, a great gift if you would like to gift to somebody. And it's also going to be something that's gonna give you opportunity to be creative. You can cut out a page. Even if you're gonna take a digital file, if you're gonna purchase or get as a patron, you will get it as a gift. This digital file, you will be able to print just one of the pages several times and color it differently. So the one that you like, or color it together with your children. I can see Alex doing it with Christopher.
Yeah, nice.
They could maybe color this together, because Alex told me already that she would like to have some posters with some quotes and some measuring converters,
but I think this is as
a
first project of coloring book for Grigor's Keto. It's amazing. It's something new, something innovating, and all the hard work of Roberta is actually hard work. Shows off
and
in this.
You in the textual part. So he's covering the text. I'm covering the illustrations. We have been working on this for several months, and it's finally ready. There were many illustrations
almost ready, yeah,
which I didn't want. They were not good enough, so I wanted only the best ones. They are for people who have patience. So it's like adult coloring book with a lot of details. This means that you will have a lot of coloring patterns, and there you can do it for weeks. You don't have to color one page the same night. You can do it through several nights, or
it's just to relax actually, and
weekends, etc. Yeah. I also designed the book so that each next page is black. So even if you use markers, if you use such as those
fluorescent, actually.
If you're gonna use, we call them flowmaster. I don't know how it's called in English, but it's marker, the thin marker. If you're gonna use them, the color will not
transfer to the under.
Be transferred to the other side, so it's not gonna destroy your next page. We were thinking about all these details. I have a lot of experience with this. I have some 20 or 30 books behind me, but under a pseudonym. And this is going to be the first book that I'm going to publish under the two of ours names.
Yeah, actually, yours.
And I'm actually one of the clients who ordered a book for me wrote in the book that I'm the author of the illustration, but this will be the first that we are publishing. And we are so happy that it will be by Grigor's Keto. And since Grigor's Keto, everybody wanted...
That's your pseudonym now, Grigor's Keto.
Yeah, why not? It's good. Shampita should be my pseudonym behind me. Somebody asked today, so regarding the book will be available tonight as an ebook in web shop, and next week it's gonna already be available as a printed version. So you will be able to order it. Most probably will be printed also in the USA. So and there will be a European version.
We're gonna see what works the best. So
where you're located, it's not gonna cost you too much, the shipping of this book. Another thing which I wanted to mention is, now that I'm seeing Shampita behind me, today we had a comment by a person under one of our cakes. It wasn't a standard Ketonian, it was quite a new name. Maybe it is. Sometimes we have some Ketonians who are just silent. They're here and they are
just
watching, yeah. But this lady asked if she could occasionally have keto dessert as a meal replacement. And then I told her, if a keto dessert contains quail eggs, and that cake did contain quail eggs, or champita, which is just eggs and butter and a little bit coconut flour, yes, it can. It's a nutritious dessert, but don't do it every day. Sometimes you're in a hurry, you made this cake and you have a lot, you don't want it to go wasted, you want to replace one meal. But I must tell you, when you take a sweetener, something which contains sweetener, and you don't take salt, there's a possibility that you will feel hungry. So that's why in all my keto recipes for desserts, I'm adding half or whole teaspoon of sea salt, because that's adding nutrition. If you're gonna just use sweetener, which is not sugar, of course, there are many chances that you're gonna feel unfed, like you didn't eat. What was this? You just spiked a little bit your insulin, because some other ingredients, and especially protein, will spike a little bit the insulin, but there wasn't actual nutrition. So that's why you need minerals. That's why you will notice that I'm using often mineral water and sea salt, even in the dessert. So that's how dessert becomes nutritious, and that's how dessert can be taken on a road trip. That's how dessert can be served instead of a breakfast. Just certain desserts, not all desserts. And you can see here, cinnamon I'm adding. Also, a lot of minerals are in cinnamon.
Yeah,
I'm
all these
cacao.
spices, I think they're amazing. They give extra flavor and aroma.
Raw cacao. Here behind me, I'm putting raw cacao in butter for a cake. And you know that after that, I'm adding mascarpone. It's going to be totally nutritious. It's going to be filling, but that can't be your main dish.
Yeah, you cannot substitute. Main meal, we said always you're gonna have to give priority
to meat.
To meat. Yeah, this is it. What's gonna give you what exactly you need, what your body needs. Not. I understand. Cakes, maybe they're nice, they look nice, they're really tasty, but they're not on a regular basis. You need to have it maybe once per week maximum, or to substitute. Sometimes maybe you want to eat some nuts or something that is out of the ordinary. And when I'm saying out of the ordinary, I'm not talking about carbohydrates or things like this. I'm talking about keto food still, that maybe it's a fruit like strawberries or maybe raspberries, things that maybe you want even to exclude while you want to lose weight. Maybe you're stalling and you see that nuts, fruits like raspberries, blueberries can make good damage.
Patty is with us. Hello, Patty. Good morning.
Good morning.
To you. Good evening to us.
Yeah.
Paula says that's amazing, probably regarding the book. Thank you, Deborah, for the claps. Applause I got from Deborah.
Tina is here. Hello.
Hello, Tina. It's nice of you to join us. Claudia says, you mentioned nuts. In buy time, you can buy macadamia. Here's great news for you.
Yeah,
he actually, you bought
yesterday. I'm going
Mila.
to Mila. So I no need for.
We can go and check. Maybe they have it.
It's
price,
not good the price. I know the fact is not even close.
But it's even sometimes it's near. So
yeah,
definitely
I will check it out. But
here is the flourless keto cake. When I was asked if a cake can be made without any flour, even almond or coconut flour, yes, it can. Have a look at this cake. This cake is totally flourless, and look how great.
Nisha is here. Hello, Nisha.
Hi, Nisha.
Claudia says 100 grams at 15 km. No, this is too much. This is too much. Because yesterday I paid per packets of 100 grams like 25 kunas. 25 kunas, which is
25 kunas, which is
6 km less.
6 km per 100 grams.
6 km.
120 grams. I think.
No, it's 100. It's 100.
It's 100? Okay, then. So sometimes it pays off just to hit the road.
And I can search other stuff. When we're traveling to Croatia, you can buy other stuff like.
I would like so much to find that.
I can buy my Greek feta cheese and all these things that I cannot find here.
He bought supplies of feta cheese. If you are a Greek, I want to talk a little bit more about feta.
I bought approximately 10 kilos of feta.
Yeah, he bought 10 kilos of feta, and I think
what to do? I love it. Yeah.
1.5 week, it's going to be gone. But what's interesting, among keto people in Greece, there are some Greek groups. One of the best groups is the one that Apollonas runs, because it's a really friendly atmosphere there. Nobody's attacking anybody. It's like Apollonas is attracting only cool people to his group, so it's a good atmosphere.
It's not cool people. They're I think they're really positive, and they want to help each other. It's really important.
That's the point.
This is what
and
creates
there
that
are
atmosphere.
There are some other groups where they are talking against cheese in general, and especially feta. Now imagine Greeks talking against feta because in their opinion it has too many proteins. Now we said this 1 million times. You should not be afraid of excess protein on keto. There isn't a chance for you to eat really excess protein. You can't eat so much protein to be unhealthy for you, because protein is providing satiety. So you will be already...
I talked a million times, especially to my Greek channel, I told you guys that people are afraid of protein. We talked and we made the main demon carbohydrates, that they're bad guys, we know about it, and now because in ketogenic diet we don't have carbohydrates, we need to find somebody else to blame. We need to find this something different, and this is protein, because yes, spikes insulin, so here's the problem, and maybe it's going to kick you out of ketosis and gluconeogenesis and all this stuff. For me, it's really vital to eat a lot of protein, so you're going to maintain your muscle tissue, you will not catabolize, only if you have specific let's call it diseases or something that is may vary this kind of disease. Maybe it's autoimmune, maybe it's diabetes type 1, that is gonna definitely change the numbers in your blood glucose. If you don't have a problem, it's just you want to lose weight, or just to shape your body, or to add the muscle tissue, especially you want protein. Protein is something what we are made of.
Protein is source of life. See it as this life actually on Earth started in a form of protein, and then every microorganism is just a molecule of protein. So protein is life. So why would you restrict protein except if you
it's something, and especially
epilepsy.
Feta that is has zero carbohydrates, has so many minerals, so many micronutrients inside, that a slice of feta, okay, as I'm saying always, you don't have to eat 500 grams. A brick of feta at once.
Okay.
This doesn't make sense, of course.
Today, I made an omelette. Actually, it's like kayana. You can go to Grigos Keto website and search for a recipe which is called kayana. Just exclude the tomato and think about making such an omelette. It's like an omelette, but it's scrambled eggs with feta cheese. I used goat butter, the wonderful goat butter from Spar, which Claudia talks about. And I used feta cheese, the Greek feta cheese, and I used, the packaging is like 150 grams, is it? 150 grams,
125, 150, something like that.
150 grams divided to two of us. Of course, Apollonas had a little bit more. So let's say he had 100 grams, I had 50 grams of feta with eggs. And I think it's a proper portion. 100 grams of feta, such a big man, it's not a big deal, right?
Sure, of course.
It's quite okay.
Really, I'm not counting this stuff. I don't care.
I just now thought about it.
I don't know how people like to terrorize themselves by just, if it's 25 or 26, for example, grams, and it's 0.1 more, then we lost it, and it failed everything.
Okay, so I heard here Nisha, I read actually, says that she wants to cut the dairy. Nisha, you need to tell us why. Because if it's goat or sheep dairy, I really don't see a reason why to cut it. Do you have any specific reason? Do you have allergy? Do you have some reaction? Because
I'm cutting down the dairy for now. It says it's so difficult to give up.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that except if it's some health issue. So let's see what Nisha's going to say. What's the reason she wants to cut it out? Deborah says, not well, Nisha.
I don't know. No, it says you lost the comments. Claudia says, yes, Nisha says it's awesome.
No, I think
Nisha, it is indeed, says, how vegans do it.
So Nisha also wrote, Croatia has wonderful truffles and gold products.
They're mixed
Yes,
up the comments, you see what's going
I'm drinking my coffee and eating feta.
No,
Isn't that great? You can combine feta. Guys, you can even
invite some Greeks who don't like feta. So
you can make a dessert with feta. Feta is so great. You can just chop some feta, eat it with some strawberries.
Actually, one of my favorite, let's call it dip, it was because of guacamole, I came up with the idea to make avocado and feta cheese, to mix them and make this new dip.
And it's one of the best things. Claudia makes it often, even her parents.
Why not? Feta is awesome. Actually, people, I don't know, especially in Greece, where they complain, they like to complain, they're Greeks. What to do about it? We cannot change the whole nation. They just like to complain for the treasures they have.
You are also Greek.
I
know.
You
complain sometimes. That's something that we love about
Paula says, Nisha, if pure goats or sheep's feta, you don't need to cut it out.
Yeah,
I'm the most sensitive person to dairy, and the feta has not given me any problem.
That's right, because feta will give you 0 carbs. Feta is fermented, exactly. And because it started from milk, which naturally doesn't contain so much lactose, feta will end up with 0 lactose. Read the ingredients. If you can find Greek feta in London, then definitely don't give up feta. I don't know what is the reason. Let's see. Read the rest of the comments.
Nisha says, laughs. Apparently true. Deborah says, unless they're taking nutritional yeast, Dr. Bear loves the stuff. Just to lose some of the weight I put on, Paula says.
I have to tell you something about nutritional yeast. Okay, first of all, think about from what this nutritional yeast is made of. It's made of wheat. So it's yeast. And even though it's not active yeast, if you do have problems with candida, if you had problems in the past with candida, it could cause you problems. These products also have very short expiration date, and when they go bad, they go bad. We bought it once, and the product was not bitter, but it was the taste like the taste of something poisonous. It was so bad. Remember, I don't know, maybe the yeast got activated.
It's in the okay for a lot of people, maybe in the beginning, if they want
the vitamin B.
Yeah, and so many stuff, maybe it's okay, but definitely I would recommend to substitute to meat. So
to actually
B12 vitamin, you must consume quail eggs. You must consume animal-based foods.
Has to be really fresh, and again, it's coming from a source which is we originally wanted to give up. We don't want to eat cereals. We don't want to eat wheat, and then you don't know. Maybe it's even made from GMO wheat, so not quite something we want. I agree, but promise you, the feta will not put on weight on you. Of course not. True, Deborah, unless they are taking nutritional yeast. I'm not quite sure.
Why you lost the comments now? We are.
I'm wondering how they came to nutritional yeast. But we are losing comments. For some reason, not all the comments are shown to us. So when they pop out, we are a little bit confused.
Lisa says, now I'm limiting the amount of fat and upping my protein slightly.
So feta is protein, doesn't have so much fat. I think you should stick to feta.
I'm not having nutritional yeast, says, but I know vegans have this as a substitute. Yeah, they should start it. Some meat for the vegans eating all this fake stuff. I don't believe it.
With feta, actually, you will up your protein, not so much your fat. So feta is your friend in this process. Now my only fat is butter and olive oil. I'm cooking for a bit. And of course, any fat that is naturally occurring in eggs and meat and fish, it's very good approach.
Unfortunately, whatever was made for vegans, it's such low quality and processed over processed just to create something to obtain these vitamins, these that have deficiencies and that. If your nutrition has deficiencies, it means that sucks. That's not good. Something is going wrong with you. So if I understand that they are doing it for their purposes, whatever it is, it's their bodies, they can do whatever they want. We cannot do anything about it. But to try to create meat out of vegetables, it cannot happen.
Yeah, it's just gonna.
Yeah,
as I said,
it's insane.
We still are not in a level of scientific development so that we can produce artificially food that is really nutritious. Unfortunately, we still need to source it from animal world, and if we do it humanely, why not? Our ancestors did it, why we shouldn't continue? I think I'm making spanakopita here behind. It's one of the most beloved recipes in many groups, keto groups. I've seen other people share it, especially Greeks recently. They started spanakopita.
Manitaropita. Yeah, mushroom pie.
Spanakopita is extremely popular among Americans.
Yeah.
So if you don't have problems with spinach, you can try this recipe, but you can substitute spinach. You can use some other veggies. So you can use some colored greens or wild greens. There are many different greens, even kale, to prepare such a pie. Let's see what other comments we
Nisha
have.
says, yes, but the guys, I'm not fitting into my clothes anymore. Really need to lower fat to around 75 grams per day.
What's going on with your carbs, Nisha?
Yeah, I think this is more important. The carbohydrates are more important than fats because anyway, you cannot eat a lot of fats. Anyway, you're going to have a limit. You're going to feel full. Carbohydrates are really important into losing weight. You need to eliminate, you need zero carbs. Since you have zero carbs, you're going to lose all the weight you want.
Are you brave enough to go carnivore, Nisha, for a month, 40 days, something like that? If you are, then definitely you're going to unstuck if there is any need for weight loss. This is your opinion from your photos. To me, you look great. She
tried carnivore anyway.
She did?
Yeah.
Okay, so go back to carnivore, I think. Would you recommend that?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's carbohydrates. The problem has never been the fat because mainly I know people says I reach my fat and not that. Still, I'm telling you guys, you don't have to sit and calculate, measure how much fats
you will always intake. Maybe you are very sensitive to fiber. Maybe you don't have to count the net carbs. Maybe your general carbs are a problem for you. So if you're eating veggies, then there you are. Maybe you are stalling.
No, I think Nisha's problem is mainly that she sits and obsessively measuring the 75 grams and these things. I think since you're going to stop doing this, you're going to find peace and everything is going to work clockwise. Nice. I think you should stop measuring all these calories and 75 grams.
Causing her bloating.
You need You need to eat meat, eggs, and fish until you feel satiety approximately, and you can
Nisha, could you maybe
supplement with the
meat and berries instead of veggies? To eat a little bit of berries, so you can eat low glycemic berries. In that way, you will intake vitamins, and seafood, eggs, and meat will be your main food. Something like that. If there is really a need to lose weight.
What to tell you? I don't want now to confuse people, but let's be honest. Even you can lose weight even with a higher carbohydrate consumption.
That's hardly any veggies. Yes, Nisha, we actually think that your body is reacting to veggies, that you have been eating a lot of veggies throughout your life. And now whatever carbs you intake through veggies, it reacts like it was sugar.
Maybe bloating, a lot of bloating.
Maybe there's starch still, if you're eating some veggies which still contain starch, because you know how it is. There is sugar and there is other carbs. These other carbs are fiber and starch, nothing else.
Again, today we had this discussion with Roberta. People think that, minus the fiber. The avocado has 12 grams in 100 of carbohydrates, minus 10, which is fiber. We have 2. Yes, but generally there are 12. You need to understand, and you don't know how your body handles this. If you had here a device that says our body is handling in that way, then it's okay. Maybe for 90% of people will be okay. Maybe you belong to this 10% that it's not okay for you. And it's going on with all these kind of fibrous things.
But there's another thing that Nisha could do. For example, for this period, when you want this excess, whatever it is, I don't think from your photos that you actually need to lose weight, but if you want to lose weight around your waist, let your veggies be fermented. Don't eat cooked, raw, don't eat veggies except if they are fermented. You can find them pickled. You can pickle them at home. There are companies which are still doing it decently without to add a lot of additives. Search around, but it's very easy. You can make the same way like you made quail eggs, pickled quail eggs. You can pickle some cauliflower, some green peppers, or even yellow peppers. You can do the same thing with broccoli and some other veggies, and try to have them fermented. A cucumber also can be beautifully pickles, right? Pickles are cucumbers which are pickled or fermented. So try
it's
to
really
eat
good fermented
only
food.
fermented
Really
vegetables. Don't eat them raw or cooked. Don't eat them when they contain so much, because when they are fermented, even the fiber is lower a little bit, because in the process of fermentation, the bacteria eats a little bit of fiber too. So because bacteria eats carbs, bacteria loves carbs. They are striving on sugar, carbs in all forms, starches, or you can feed them just with starch, with fiber. They simply choose that. They would rather go to eat that. So that's why if you have any kind of inflammation in the body, if you have any bacterial infection, you need to lower totally carbs. You don't need to eat carbs. You don't need to feed the bacteria. But if you eat fermented, then you are intaking good bacteria. And fermented
or you can
foods,
play even to make it to one day carnivore, one day with fermented foods. Again, carnivore, just
if you are
to
missing
change.
vegetables,
Yeah, I understand,
just
but
eat fermented, and you will see how it's going to unstuck your weight loss. The meat and little berries is a good idea, says Paula. It's a great idea, actually. I know many carnivores who are occasionally eating a little bit of berries, especially on Twitter. They are tweeting about it. They are like, they even have a name, these carniberries. Carniberries. They are eating a little bit of carniberries. Yeah, why not? It's cool. Now carnivore. Deborah is on carnivore. Is she? Good
she
idea.
made carnivore pizza. What do you
yes,
mean?
of course. Weight standard. A more rapid decrease when I keep carbs less than 10 grams. Even more, not that I'm carnivore. Now that she's carnivore, great. And you can make so many things
really,
on carnivore.
You can see it without go a day in the gym. The last month I didn't go to the gym at all due to my injury I have in my trap. I'm literally eating without to track anything. I have 2 or 3 meals a day, depends if I'm hungry or not.
Yeah,
if I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat. If I'm not hungry, I will not eat at all.
One thing that I want to ask everybody, please do not suppress yourself or force yourself to fast if you are feeling extreme hungry. Your body is telling you that you are not fed. So eat the good nutrients.
Yeah.
Eat something nutritious.
But still you can see that your body has some differences through the foods that you are consuming. And I can see this clearly from the time that I will not eat, because lately I'm consuming some fermented foods, and especially fermented cucumbers, that I find them extremely delicious. Pickles, exactly. So I have a couple of them.
For the winter, it's really good to have fermented food.
Actually, the vinegar that I have inside helps me a lot with digestion, and I feel it really good in my stomach. So helps a lot with digestion, and with my meat together, I think it's a great combination. What
Yesterday
else
you ate it with fish. Even with fish,
yeah.
You can combine.
You can have it, and I'm telling you, it's. I didn't gain any weight. I have still vascularity in my. Even I didn't go for more than 30 days in the gym. You don't have to go to the gym to keep your physique generally in or to maintain it. Even if you are eating feta, I'm eating loads of feta. I cannot stop with feta. For me, it's impossible to not have feta daily. I cannot. And still I'm keeping my vascularity. I have defined muscles, everything, and you don't have to go to the gym. Your nutrition should work and must work without you going to the gym any day.
If your nutrition doesn't work, you are doing something wrong. If
exactly.
you're not losing weight and you're doing keto, then you are doing something wrong. And we actually have 2 articles covering this subject. So one of them is called When Keto Doesn't Work for You. If you have somebody who is doing keto but it doesn't work for them, then please share this article with them. You can find the article on Rigos Keto. It has a funny name of a chubby person in the gym. But
always is something hidden there. When I have somebody who says to me, I cannot lose weight, something is wrong there. It's a lot of carbohydrates from somewhere usually. And that comes when you want to lose weight. There are a lot of clients that work together and they stall, even ketogenic diet, you can stall, but you need to eliminate most of the times carbohydrates, which is plant-based foods. That means, of course, vegetables and fruits.
So Anna is here. Good evening, Anna.
Good evening.
How are you today? Paula says, I thought the same. Kimchi.
Nisha,
okay,
yeah.
I'm not sure what is kimchi. It's some kind of fermented
yeah.
Tina says, what can you have when you have a cold and bad cough? We did cover this subject several times, but there are some things that's gonna put you out of the misery immediately. So I want you to take some goat milk and melt some goat butter in it, add some chamomile tea and let it boil for 5 minutes. This is the best remedy for cough. You can add some monk fruit, because monk fruit in general for ages has been used as anti-cough medicine. So if you don't have monk fruit, of course you will use stevia, but try to find monk fruit. Goat butter plays the major role here because our bronchia, they need fat. You need to inhale a little bit of that fat. It's gonna actually calm down your respiratory system. So you need very hot beverage to slowly drink it, like more inhale a little bit of the steam of it and slowly drink it. Add some cinnamon. Cinnamon is also extremely good for cough. And make it tasty. Add some vanilla or something which you usually like, because it's extremely important during the period when we have cold that our psychology is up.
Elevated,
chamomile tea in goat milk, melted butter in goat milk, and some cinnamon, some monk fruit, and you will see the cough will be gone. But to help you go out of the misery of cold, mix some quail eggs with sea buckthorn juice in a blender and just drink it raw as it is. You can add some stevia because it will be very sour. You can add some monk fruit, or you can just add some hot water, so warm water, let's say, and drink it like we in my language we say X, which means like bottoms up. And you will feel better immediately. If you don't have quail eggs, then just prepare some egg milk with yolks of hen eggs, but use hot water in that case, because hen eggs can't be consumed safely. We don't know the source of hen eggs, so no raw hen eggs we ever recommend. And also, have yourself some rose hip tea. Find rose hip tea if it's possible for you.
Misha says ginger, garlic, sea buckthorn, quail eggs, bone broth. Yeah,
bone
definitely.
Broth also. Yeah, bone broth definitely. But
definitely.
we are having it literally every. If we don't have bone broth, we have fish broth. So this is what we're gonna have now.
Later, yeah. Tina says thank you. We'll try it.
For cough, fresh thyme tea is excellent. Yeah, but thyme tea is mainly for when you have sore throat. It's helping a lot to wash your throat, to spit out, because it's gonna work. It's gonna kill all the bacteria which are accumulated in the throat. But cough, when it comes to cough, sage can't help alone. It needs more help. So you can maybe use thyme. Oh yeah, she said thyme. You can maybe use a little bit of oil, essential oil of pine needles. This is extremely good for the cough. We also have a recipe for syrup. So if you pay a visit
I think
to
all these things are great.
Find. But try this remedy for cough with goat milk, goat butter, and monk fruit. Okay, what else we have? Just
Anna
returned
says,
from a beautiful walk. Bravo, that's very nice.
I'll
We'll
watch you
watch you
guys
guys later. I hope you enjoyed your walk.
activities.
It's
Really
great
important,
also to empty your head, to let your imagination flow. Just walk by the river, walk by the lake, by the beach, whatever you have in your area, and you will feel how much better you will feel. Or in a park, if you're living in a city, just go to the park. It's extremely beneficial because this is, guys, this is a lifestyle. This is what we are saying in the beginning of the book, the coloring book that we are publishing. Yes, we are learning about keto, we are learning about nutrition, we are learning about maintaining our health, but this is a lifestyle. This is not only talking about food, only talking about preparation method, only talking about recipes. There's so much more to explore because keto is making you think more. It's giving you creativity and possibility to develop some new hobbies. And that's why we actually are all the time trying to motivate you to be creative. That's why we have Creative Ketonian giveaway. Here I am to this subject. So you requested that we make a mug giveaway, but unfortunately the company we are working with doesn't allow the modification, the actually personalization of mugs. So we can do it differently. We can maybe publish a t-shirt or a poster, something where you will place your design. And then the winning design, I will copy it and place it on a mug, and then this person will get mug with their design. We can't publish just a product, a mug that's editable. For now, this company doesn't allow it. Probably it's something with the printing on a round object. It's not printing on a straight object, so they can't actually afford to make mistakes. The letters could go out of place and something like that. So yes, we're gonna most probably publish a poster that will be editable, but we're gonna work on that design to make it into a mug for the winner. And this will be published also next week, the giveaway on Rigorous Keto. So another thing which I wanted to cover is now covered. What are the comments we have? Only parks, Roberta. We don't have rivers or lakes in Nicosia. Lefkosia.
Lefkosia, yeah. I don't know what I call it. The bridge Nicosia.
Yeah, because they are in the middle of the island. So maybe for the weekend, for next weekend, go to Larnaca or to
Limassol.
Limassol, and then you can enjoy a little bit of seaside. But yes, park is the best place to go when you're living in a city, in a big city,
I don't know what
in a capital.
They're gonna have now.
They always have good weather down there.
Not always.
It's mainly.
I remember when it snowed in Limassol.
Really?
Yeah.
Snow.
Yeah, snow.
We were not there. It was summer.
It was summer.
But this is unusual to hear.
Yeah, I don't know. Cyprus is really beautiful island. I love it, and it has great places to visit. And
it's a real Mediterranean.
Yeah,
it's Eastern Mediterranean.
Guys, if you have the opportunity to visit Cyprus, has a lot of history, and of course you can visit several archaeological sites and to swim in these beautiful waters. I think it's a
open Mediterranean sea they have there.
Yeah.
Bella says, sent my mom your Mediterranean pizza recipe for my sister who is visiting her for the holidays. Nice. She is making it right now. I hope she sends me a picture. Oh, that would be great. So then your mother can also enter the contest that was proposed by Richard. So why not send us photos, guys? When you make something from Grigos, send us photos. Makes us very happy.
Something I think versatile because you can add your own.
You can top it with whatever you like it, and you know that it's keto friendly. That is actually Mediterranean, keto Mediterranean.
Your own actual ingredients. Maybe you don't have this. You have a little bit of pepper. You can have a little bit of mushrooms or something.
I'm using pickled peppers, but the long horn peppers, which we call feferoni. It's not pepperoni, it's feferoni, and feferoni is totally pickled, that sour in taste that you have to wash it a little bit before you're gonna use it.
Yeah.
There's also a hot variety. This is something that Richard might know about because they use it a lot in Hungary. We are using the Hungarian product, Shovko, which is something that
I don't know. It's generally really
it's
good. It's
for the gourmet lovers.
Yeah. It's really tasty, and as I told you, you can put your own details up to your pizza. And see, Deborah made it was fantastic. Yeah.
She also made a great photo.
photography.
So all together, great
I think the whole
inspiration.
family enjoyed it. So it was
even her. She said her pizza snob husband, pizza snob,
Yeah,
which means he just wants perfect pizza. And carnivore pizza is a perfect pizza because it's also nutritious. It's a guilt-free pizza because those pizzas with
and I think it's the only
flour
recipe
is
that
still
exists. We are the only ones who came up with carnivore pizza.
No, I think now they're
Well,
calling
no,
pizza.
there are, but
They're
when
calling
we
it
made it,
pizza.
actually, we made it for a client of mine because he couldn't eat anything else. So Roberto says, "Let's make him something. Let's make a pizza." And we say,
Let's make a pizza with minced meat.
With minced meat, yeah.
But there is this pizza. You remember, fitness industry came up with this
chicken
breast
down.
Minced chicken breast pizza. So I said, why would you use chicken breast, which is so dry and which is so just
tasteless?
Let's use minced beef or minced veal, and it tasted awesome. You can also use minced mutton, minced lamb.
Chicken breast, I didn't. Even when I'm seeing it somewhere, even in the fridge, in the butcher shop or somewhere, I'm just turning away. I don't want even to see it. I used to eat a lot of it, so I think I developed.
You had enough for this lifetime.
An allergy, let's call it.
Not an allergy, but like
discussion. Exactly. Discussed about it. Yeah, it's
So guys, 1 hour 10 minutes. Let's. It's Sunday, but we do have to eat, and I have to finish this with a book.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I also
the book is really important to be ready.
I have to do some other jobs on Keto. So let's see if you have any comments, questions,
Deborah
or
sent something.
ideas.
Can you see there?
My husband is from Buffalo, where everyone argues about who makes the best pizza. Okay, he's not from Italy, so he was very upset when his sister changed pizza shops. Oh, so that's very sensitive, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the guys there, why they're arguing. Maybe there are a lot of Italians there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, pizza became extremely popular in the USA. It's not even that popular in Europe.
I don't know. The problem with the pizza is if you don't have this oven built with bricks, fire bricks as they call them, and bake it in wood inside there, you never ate real pizza.
Yeah,
so this is what pizza is all about, not just to bake the regular pizza in the oven.
Everything can be ketonized. So I don't miss the ordinary pizza. I wouldn't make it, not even with Emmer.
I never was friend with pizza. I never liked pizza.
I
don't know. I find it.
Yeah, but you like carnivore pizza, don't you?
Yeah, I love carnivore pizza, but I was never a fan of pizza. I love souvlaki. This is something else. Pita, souvlaki, and all these things. There much. We have tzatziki sauce. We have gyros. So many things that I think is much.
I wish
much
you
better.
had gyros with the provatina.
But we came up with an idea in Greece: gyros pizza. What do you say about it, guys? It's a pizza which has gyros and all the stuff up to the pizza. So
I don't like it because it's with wheat flour. So
yeah, of course. But you can combine everything. And now we came up with fish souvlaki, which is something extremely good, really tasty. Fish souvlaki, you are making. I would like to try that. Yeah, but the problem is that they're frying them, with white flour, which we can, of course, substitute it with almond flour or with coconut flour
or no flour at all.
Or no flour at all, exactly.
Just fry pieces of fish and stick it
I think
on a skewer.
I would love gyros pizza. Yeah, this is something awesome. We have it because our gyros is from pork, 99%.
I wish it was beef. I wish it was.
Now we have
from mutton or lamb. Come on, imagine lamb gyros. This would be the tastiest gyros because we ate lamb.
Northern Greece exists from all the other animals except pork. But pork is the main thing, and chicken gyros and pork gyros. I don't know, I don't like them, but anyway.
Greek pizza is everywhere in Australia, says Nisha. Pala says best from lamb. Yeah, but mutton is even tastier than lamb. I couldn't believe this. I thought it's gonna be tough. I thought it's gonna be, when the meat is a little bit older, you think that it will not taste as good, but mutton is the tastiest meat I ever ate. I ate it grilled, I ate souvlaki, I ate it minced. Mutton is definitely. We have a recipe for mutton burgers with smoked salmon.
Salmon,
This is a great recipe. That recipe also includes Greek deviled eggs, which includes egg yolks and feta cheese mash. So take a look at that recipe. You have 3 recipes there in one plate. So you can combine them. You can actually make just the mutton burgers. You can make just the smoked salmon, or you can make these Greek deviled eggs.
Paula says here is always lamb at the Greek festival. Greek festivals, I want to go soon as the Greek festival. Misha says that's true.
My mom will eat a bit of mutton, but she's not too keen on lamb. Yeah, mutton is extremely tasty.
Really good.
I still can't find mutton. Want to try it? You will love it when you try it. Trust me. Okay, you will find
it. Actually, grilled is
top. It's your favorite.
Yeah,
that's what we ate in Svinas all summer.
Every day.
Every day we ate it. Yeah, it was a great summer and gave us a lot of energy. Because we walked kilometers.
The taste and the aftertaste that has this meat,
is the best.
Doesn't exist. I cannot describe it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's wait for comments and let's eat finally.
Questions, guys. Yeah, so we're gonna prepare our fish soup.
Anybody has a question? Anybody has idea? Anybody who has a wish regarding Grigos Keto content? Maybe a product in Grigos Keto store.
Besides the upcoming coloring book.
Coloring book is coming. You will be able to download ebook, extremely affordable, and after that you will be able to order a printed version next week. No more comments, I guess, or it's a little bit late. We are carby food. What to do? Guys, we really would like to invite you to visit more often Grigos Keto YouTube channel. There are many recipes. You can always find the recipe both on Grigos Keto and YouTube channel. So some of you like video recipes, the others prefer written recipes. Check them all. It's coming Christmas season. We will be posting new great recipes. We will be working together on tallow cookies, as I promised you. There will be tallow cookies live, but most probably we'll have to make a live on Facebook because YouTube doesn't allow us to make a live with a phone. We can make it only with a computer, so only from a desktop version.
Yeah, I don't know
why.
We
will go live on Facebook most probably, or we can't do it on Instagram because Instagram is cutting the live after 5 minutes. So we will be making together tallow cookies for this season, and there will be some other great recipes for this Christmas season.
It's gonna be awesome, actually.
Okay, so that would be it for tonight. Thank you all for participating. Thank you for sending your comments. Thank you for being members of Grigos Keto Universe family. We really love to communicate with all of you. We love to exchange our experiences. So whatever you need, you can send us a question. You can send us an email. If you need help with your ketogenic diet, if you need help, if you have health problems and you are doing keto for any relief of symptoms or problems, you can contact Apollonius. He's a certified nutritionist that specializes ketogenic, carnivore, and low carb diets, even paleo. So you can contact him, or you maybe can send the contact to somebody you know, somebody that needs help. So thank you all. Thank you, Claudia, for being with us. Patty, I got my yard work done
listening to you, says.
Oh, that's
and I'm hungry for pizza.
Very nice. So maybe you can make carnivore pizza, or maybe you can
why
make
not?
keto pizza. Thank you, Deborah, for participating, and thank you for sending all those great photos. Nisha, thank you also. Patty and Paula, of course. Paula, Richard, we lost Richard a little bit now, but he's there, or he will be listening, watching later.
Anna and everybody.
This is Anna, this is the only time when Claudia can watch us. So usually it's her training time.
Training time, yeah.
Great that we had the opportunity also to have Claudia with us.
Exactly.
So, guys, you know what you have to do. You have to stay ketonized to the fullest potential possible. And it's always possible, a little bit more. So ketonized and
positive as
Positive,
always.
That's right. Kisses to everybody.
See you
Bye.
guys. Bye.